Hey y'all, Chris here from Mr. Bass Outdoors, and today we're going to show you how to properly grease and oil your bait casting reel. And it's a very simple process. If you make it part of your after fishing routine, which everybody should have an after fishing routine, that includes charging your batteries, cleaning the boat up, checking your lines, all that kind of stuff. You make this part of it, your reels will last you substantially longer than everybody else's at the dock. And here's an example for you. This is my old extreme bait casting reel that I bought in 2006, and I have just now replaced it with the Ardent. It still works, still cast, still a good reel. And the only reason that it's lasted this long is because I have properly maintained the reel by greasing and oiling it. So there's only two items that you're going to need to perform this kind of service on your reel, and that's going to be a bottle of lube, okay, oil specifically, reel oil. Don't use motor oil or anything like that. Use a oil that's specifically designed for reels. And then you're going to need a grease, like this Ardent Reel Butter Grease. Again, no substitutions, use a real grease. All you're going to have to do is disassemble the reel. And the first step of that is going to be to remove your side plate. All manufacturers have a kind of different way to remove the side plate. Okay, so on this Ardent Elite, it's removed by unscrewing this here and simply rotating the side plate. It varies from baitcaster to baitcaster. Loose, okay, have the same kind of deal. Most of it's just a pull-out detent. Okay, some Shimano's have a spin-off side cover. They also use that as well. Some Bass Pros, Fluger, stuff like that, they use a push-in style detent. So just check with your manufacturer on how to remove your side plate if you're not sure. There's one place on the side plate we want to look at first. That's going to be this bearing right here. A lot of people don't know that that's even there. But that is a bearing for the other side of your spool. And this one right here collects a lot of debris, dirt, contamination from your line, etc. And it's usually the first one to start making noise. So we're going to take our reel oil here. And I do 2 drops. I just move it around to make sure it's all over that bearing surface. We're going to set it aside. Next step is to remove your spool. Just go ahead and pull it on out of the way. And we're going to look down into our pinion. Okay, this is the pinion gear for this reel. As you see, it's slotted or keyed, and that's to accept the spool and spline the spool up. And this gear that you're looking at is the driving gear, is what I call it. It's kind of like an automotive differential. That's what's actually going to turn the spool, and then your main gear, ring gear, is right here, and that's what you're driving with your hand. So we're going to put a couple drops down in there. I like 5 or 6. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I give it a minute to settle in there. And then start rotating your handle. And that's just spreading that oil all over the place in there, okay? Now, another commonly overlooked place is this main brake cap. This is pretty much the same on every bait caster. Just unscrew it. It's another passageway. A couple drops in there will do. Next place, spool bearing. So you'll notice your key right here. Under the key is a bearing. Give it a couple drops. Again, folks, the point is make sure it's lubricated. So if you feel like you need to do 5 drops, then do 5 drops. If I feel like I only need to do 1 or 2 well-placed drops, then that's how it's going to be. So, play with it. Just make sure that it's lubricated, because too much lube is not going to be a bad thing, but too little lube is going to cause metal on metal. And then I just put 1 drop right here because you've already oiled this piece. So I put 1 drop and just let it run down. Right on the top of it, just like that. And it will run down both sides of that shaft. Now we're going to reinstall the spool here. Make sure you're splined up. I'm going to go ahead and put our side cover back on. We got one last place, and that's our worm gear right here. So the worm gear needs to be greased, not oiled. So take your real grease, remove the cap, that helps. Just get it in there like that. What I do is start with the line wind guide all the way either one side or the other. Expose the whole gear. And then I slowly rotate that grease in there. The reason I say slowly look at all that it's pushed in. So the reason I say slowly is if you go too fast, it will push excess all over the place, worse than it is right now. Which part of the reason this is so greasy is I've done a couple takes of this video, so it wouldn't normally look like this, but it's not that big a deal. And just smoothly roll it. Most of my problems with reels is the line wind guide stops working because the little pawl gear in there has completely worn down to nothing. So that's how you do it right there. It's real easy. Again, make it part of your after fishing routine. A lot of fishing is preparation. You got to have a routine. So after you get off the water, get in a routine, make this part of it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more tips, videos, and subscribe for more.